Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you are tuning into this broadcast. This is Ishues, Coach Ish, whatever you want to call me. Let's talk boxing right now. Did y'all see what Anthony Joshua just did to Francis Ngannou? Oh my God. Yo, listen. First of all, I was wrong, obviously. This is what I love about boxing. Is every time you fight, you have an opportunity to make history, to become legendary. And what Anthony Joshua did tonight was legendary. Will never be forgotten. First of all, any questions or scrutiny about his mental capacity from me is dead. Because he just showed me otherwise. Second of all, yeah, now I'm interested in seeing Joshua run it back with everybody else. Now I am interested in seeing Joshua Parker again. Now I am interested in seeing Joshua Usyk again. Now I do want to see Joshua, because it's not just the fact that he took Francis Ngannou apart. He did to Ngannou what Tyson Fury was supposed to do. Right? He took Ngannou apart. Like, if Ngannou would have fought this AJ before fighting Tyson Fury, I don't think there would have ever been a second fight in boxing. So it happened the way it was supposed to happen. That jab. Oh, God. That jab. First of all, that straight right hand was crazy. That straight right hand was crazy. That straight right hand was crazy. Thing of beauty. Set it up. Walked him into it. Right down the middle. Crazy. Right? Then when he started working that jab, I said, oh. When I first seen it, I said, oh. And what's crazy is, right, when Ngannou came out, he was trying to clip Joshua with a lead hook coming in, right? I was like, oh. And I was looking, I said, oh, he's faster. He's a lot faster than I thought. He's actually fast. And it was at a point where Joshua was leaning in with the jab, and Ngannou was almost catching him with that lead hook. And then what Ngannou did was he switched stances. He switched to southpaw. And Joshua knew what to do. This really was kind of a textbook example of the differences in levels of boxing. And the fact that it was Anthony Joshua that did it is super significant. First of all, I've gained a lot of respect for Anthony Joshua after tonight. For real. And he looked really good doing it too. Like that jab was crazy. The speed and the snap on that. He didn't used to have that. What we just witnessed was the maturation of Anthony Joshua. And it took him. This is the reason why being undefeated is not important. And now I have a totally different respect and perspective for the career of Anthony Joshua. Because for me, I'm also looking at things, I'll be honest, from a zero losses, undefeated type of mindset. You know what I mean? Yet again, another, effect on the game from Floyd Mayweather. But what he just proved tonight is that losses don't mean nothing. Because your losses could also be part of your maturation. That could be all of that, going through all of those things. He needed to go through all of that. This is the best version of Anthony Joshua I've ever seen. And I've been watching Anthony Joshua since he turned pro. Then I went back and started watching his amateur work. I ain't never seen Anthony Joshua. Even though he was supposed to do, I mean, let's be real. Let's not, just because that happened to Francis Ngannou, let's not act like he wasn't supposed to be there. Y'all heard his accolades when they announced him. He did that to somebody credible. He did that to somebody. He did that to a killer. He did that to a killer. He did that to a killer. He dispatched him easily. He did that to a killer. He did that to a killer. They just made him and Fury should get a extra bag now. That just made that fight probably the biggest boxing spectacle, you know what I'm saying? Like from a point where people feeling like boxing is dead or dying, which is where I was before this fight. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have an opportunity to turn that around with these events that have transpired. Anthony Joshua just solidify himself right back to where he fell from. And in my build-up video to this fight, I was talking about how far he's fallen. You know what I'm saying? And all of those things that he went through mentally, all of those things he had to traipse over and go through, or whatever the case may be, made him into the person who just did that tonight. What he did tonight was legendary. It was legendary. It would never be forgotten. Because all of those, I mean, he did that against somebody who's never had that done to him before in 2 combat sports. He did that to somebody who escaped from a salt mine and held his guts in to escape to the United States. He did that to a killer. He did that to that guy. We're not going to take nothing away from Ngannou. We're going to say he did that to a Titan. That's who he did that to. That boy was a bad man. That was a bad man. And Joshua did that to him. You know what I'm saying? Joshua did that to him. Y'all excuse the noise in the background. Granddaughter here, everybody here. She's extra emotional. It is what it is. But salute to Joshua, man. First and foremost. Because I've given Joshua a lot of grief. I can't give him no grief no more. He earned that. And that's the thing I love about boxing. That's what boxing needs. What happened tonight is what boxing needs. And you only get that. This is what Joshua could be. Joshua could usher in the right era of boxing if he do this right. Because after what he did tonight, let's say him and Fury go on, because that's really the only thing left. That's the only thing left in the heavyweight division. I'm not trying to see Joshua versus nobody but Fury, and I'm not trying to see Fury versus nobody but Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So, let's say that's an epic trilogy. You know what I mean? People will immediately start talking about how this has revived boxing, the sport. And Joshua's whole mission statement or whatever, a whole thing would be how you come back from losing. Remember where Joshua started. He was the golden boy of boxing. He was the face of boxing for a minute. Ruiz put the paws on him. Usyk did what he did. He had him some meltdowns, this, that, whatever. He fell from grace, and he climbed back up in the seat. He fought his way back and climbed back up in the seat. That is a story. That's a beautiful narrative. That because it's Anthony Joshua in the heavyweight division, which has always been the most important division in boxing. Other divisions have been the glory divisions. Like right now, I would say there's about 135, 140. It's still kind of up in the air, but yeah, I'll say Gervonta Davis, 135. It's kind of the glory division. You know what I'm saying? 147. But the most important division in boxing has always been the heavyweight division. And I was about ready to sing the tap song for the heavyweight division based on what was going on. Real talk. And Joshua, regardless of how you feel about him, if you love the sport of boxing, you are very proud of what Anthony Joshua did tonight. You know what I'm saying? And his whole thing should be anti-Floyd Mayweather. Not Floyd Mayweather specifically, but your O don't mean nothing. Because your O can be, because this is what it used to be back in the day. But back in the day, everybody fought each other, win or lose, to learn, to get better. So sometimes losses make you better. You know what I'm saying? Only after Floyd Mayweather did become undefeated, become so important, and that's the reason why fighters don't fight each other. I got interrupted by my daughter, and I can't remember why I ended off. So I'm just going to cap this all by saying this. First and foremost, his maturation as a boxer was on full display. His decision making, his skill, that jab, and how he was, his new trainer, whoever's training him right now, he needs to stay with him. You know what I'm saying? He looked good. He looked good. The setups, the straight right. It's not easy to land that straight right like that. To cause that. That's not easy. That's not an easy thing. For those who don't know, who watch movies and see scripted things and stuff like that, it is not easy, especially from an open stance. It's not easy to land that flush. That was flush. That was textbook flush. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do that. What he did to him is not easy to do. Despite what people may say about, oh, well, he's only had 2 fights as a boxer, or he da-da-da-da-da. All these other things, take all that away, because none of that means anything. That man deserved to be where he was. And he had a real opportunity to upset the apple cart and put Anthony Joshua lights out. In fact, that's what I thought was going to happen. Because I've seen Joshua fold under pressure too many times for me to logically believe anything otherwise. But that's the beautiful thing about not only sports but boxing in general. Because the thing about boxing is when you climb in them ropes, your adversary is you, and if you could conquer you can do some things. And a lot of times Joshua has been susceptible to himself. You know, for whatever it is. So everything that he's going through brought him to this point. All of his losses brought him to this point. And he has an opportunity now at this point where boxing is failing, and is, you know what I'm saying? The heavyweight division is this, that, whatever. He has an opportunity to, at the end of the day, be the person who turned all that around based on what he did tonight. Because tonight is legendary. What happened tonight will never be forgotten. Because it's not just, and it's not, if it would have been a decision or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying, it would have been dope too. But it wasn't just that it was a decision. It wasn't just that it was a win. It was how he did it. It was what he did. It was what he did, how he did it. You know what I'm saying? That, especially in that short amount of time, those clips will, you know what I mean? They're going to be memes, clips, gifs, whatever. He smoked them. Smoked them. Woo! That was nice. That was nice. That was nice. Respect to Anthony Joshua, man. He won me over. He won me over. No, he won me over. He won me over. All respect due. So, that's all I got, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's talk about it. Peace.